Your reaction channels can't make rumors from stuff that comes from your own sloppy mouth. This is the real you. I can't imagine you behind closed doors. Terrifying. So
fuck NDA breaking. Bro, I'm here for fucking entertainment. I do not act like this in real life. There it is.
I find it really funny that you say that you like genuinely don't like me when you dead ass also sent me a message and you said, "Hey, just so you know, do you want me to read it verbatim?"
No, don't do that because NDA. Just
summarize it.
You said, "At the end of the day, I really actually with you, but how would I look if I turned around and said that I with both Jersey and Zay? Like, that's a bad look. Mama, stop doing that."
You look so fucking embarrassing right now. Like,
I'm so embarrassed.
I would end the live stream right now, bro.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. If you guys want to hear about all the shit we're gonna talk about you from today, check out Glass tomorrow. Bye.
Attention, and this is from Keem. Yesterday, I was very clear. I want no more blood feuds, meaning fights among hosts that last forever. I understand we will all beef from time to time, but when fights last months, it negatively affects the entire LCU. We need to remember we are all on the same team in some sense. Last night, Yo Mama made a great point. He said that if he has to end a blood feud, why does Glass get to be a channel dedicated to attacking ALR? He's right. I have notified Glass that they must switch up the content so it is not 24/7 ALR. I want this universe to lower the temp and get back to the laughs, and if you really think about it, that's what we all want. There is a time and a place to attack. Every show against the same target is no longer acceptable here.
ALR is having a rough week, folks. With the loss of her bestie Pooper Scooper Scooter, Amberlynn Reid now must defend herself. And how does she do that? By telling Keemstar. And as you saw by the intro, the LCU, specifically Keemstar, has issued the royal decree that there is to be no more blood feuds inside the LCU. Now, fighting between hosts in the LCU is pretty common, but it wasn't until Yo Mama's heartfelt plea to Keemstar about the unfair treatment of Amberlynn that Keemstar truly opened his eyes and decided to put down his foot. Which didn't give us an earthquake, but it did give us smuggling. But I do want to have a little bit of a side rant before we totally start, because I just want to go over this little piece, because mostly this upload is going to focus on Amberlynn versus Lolcow Glass. But this bullshit story needs to be addressed, because I am one who, sometimes I do feel bad for Amberlynn. And, it's like kind of like, because I can see she wants to be liked. She would love to feel like she's actually a part of the group for once. But I don't know. It's stories like these that just make me realize what a complete and utter piece of garbage this human being is.
I'm not exercising. I'm swollen. My leg hurts. I fell. I had to crawl.
Good.
My mom had to leave work to help her daughter get up from the ground.
I understand that, but you know what?
Can you guys be sympathetic?
All right.
And then I slipped trying to get up when she helped me, and she almost fell on top of me. Oh, bro, I've had a bad day all day. It's not fair that conditioner just ruined my whole day.
Out of all of her lies, I don't know why that one just really struck a chord with me. Maybe because I know, what she's describing is such a dangerous situation, super dangerous. Could she have actually hurt her leg? Sure. But falling like that, if she actually fell like that, she would have to have gone to the hospital. Because I didn't even clip the part, but she's making comments about how her mom had to go to the front office and they had to let her in. Amber always goes off about how no one ever has any sympathy for her, and people always call her a liar and assume that she's not telling the truth. But then you got shit like this where I get it. She thinks she's trolling like Trisha Paytas, which I don't think you want to follow the Trisha Paytas model of YouTube, but Amber's always tried. It's pretty obvious that Lolcow Bus is trying to be a frenemies type situation, but there's no charm that the frenemies show had in any of this. Amberlynn doesn't come off charming. She comes out psychotic. Like, this is a crazy story to tell on a live stream because she's definitely trolling, without a doubt. If she was actually in pain, if she fell like that, she would have not came to work. She would be in the emergency room. Like, seriously, no jokes aside, falling like that at her size, with her history of like maybe having blood clots or them thinking she had them, oh, that's so dangerous. And she's such a hypochondriac. Ain't no way she's going to work. So please. All right, now that rant's over, let's get into the actual point of this episode. And now I actually present to you Smugglin'.
ALR, how you feeling about it?
Well, it's just kind of crazy because Keem doesn't listen to a damn word I say, but he always listens to Yo Mama. Because Yo Mama made a very good point last night on Pit.
Okay.
That, like, Yo Mama wanted me to come over here to get away from the detractors and to be in a community.
It's peace day,
You're
Fupa.
so
It's peace day.
ugly and annoying. To be in a community of people where we're all like, you know, we hate on each other, but we also like love each other. Like, it's not like everyone against one person. And Yo Mama made Billy cry, I guess. And then Keem told Yo Mama, lighten up on Billy because you made him cry. And then Yo Mama's just pointing out Keemstar's hypocrisy, see? And it's like, thank you, Yo Mama. Because it's true. Glass was like very focused on like hating me and talking about me every single day, whether it's like a title or a thumbnail. It was always about me. And it's like, I'm trying to like get away from all that. And like Keemstar allowing that was just kind of fucked up, in my opinion.
Well, to be fair, like, because you had permission to stream on your own channel, like, you're kind of going back into the shit, right? I'm just saying, it's the truth. When you put up that first stream on your channel, you're like, I'm willing to go back into the shit. So you saying is kind of, it's a little hypocritical. I'm just saying.
And why are you always against me?
I'm not against you, ALR.
I don't know. I kind of like this Ken dude, but I don't know. He kind of goes a little too hard at Amberlynn, so he's probably not going to stay around. She can't deal with two people checking her on her shit, even though Fupa Cheese and her are seemingly merging into one entity, I feel like. And I can kind of get that to a certain extent. Fupa wants to keep her job. She's making good money. She still gets some good one-liners in every once in a while. But the true focus of Amber right now is Tina and Zay Zooted. She doesn't like Rosie either, but Tina and Zay Zooted have the history with the LCU that Rosie doesn't, because she's came in off of Girl World. Amberlynn learned this week that Keemstar will always have Tina's back, much to her dismay. But she does know she can go after Rosie and Zay Zooted pretty successfully, it looks like.
All right.
So I'm not going to let down like my fans over on my channel. So that's why I am going back. Plus I want to have like two jobs. Like I want to have one here and one there. I think it'll be good for me and I don't want to let my fans down.
All right.
So
I respect it.
I guess one thing that's common in the LCU is that you cannot stream on any other platforms other than the LCU approved channels unless you have special permission from Keemstar. Now, Amber, of course, there is an exception for her because she came with a huge name that she is allowed to put up content on her own channel, which is not something that the other hosts in the LCU can do. Side note, Keemstar told her she can only put up vlogs. She can't live stream, which is a small victory for Girl World. But it has started to create animosity between her and the other hosts of the LCU. And like Ken pointed out, you can't complain about Girl World or having a channel in the LCU devoted to Girl World while you're making content strictly for Girl World. But that's a thought too close to common sense, so naturally Amberlynn wouldn't get it.
Fantastic. I heard I was summoned.
You did. And ALR, take the floor.
How do you, because I don't watch Glass, I can't, my mental health, okay? How do you feel about the announcement that Keem posted?
I feel 100% fine. I mean, we've never been Amberlynn Reid 100% only channel, so it's not really going to be changing our content that much. I mean, today we did an entire episode on Tina. A few days ago, we did an entire episode on Quirky Love Rose. We've been covering Foodie Beauty off and on as she's had her Scooty era, which is really funny, by the way. So, yeah.
Okay, so my question is, why are you making every title about me? So when my last host left, you still made the title about me. Why?
I like how Zay listed off 3 different names of people they've covered this past week over at Lolcow Glass, and Amberlynn totally checked out of the conversation. But the moment it can go back to her, she's animated, ready to go, and got questions.
Why?
Yeah, that's an easy answer because 90% of the time when the title was about you, we had some sort of back and forth that day. So you had either said something about us before, Rosie had jumped up on the show, there was something for us to comment on about something you said about our show. You've talked about Glass probably more than you realize you have.
Okay, so I am like the hyper focus of Girl World. Let's be so freaking real. Do you think that you're going to change the description in your on your channel?
These are the type of questions she gets from Keemstar or Yo Mama, and she thinks she sounds smart asking them, when in fact it just makes her look goofy as hell. She also comes off so unlikable in this, like when she's trying to be serious and ask questions and be all intellectual, Lynn. It just fails so flatly. She just looks so deranged and she's not listening. You can tell by how Zay gives her answers and Amberlynn's next follow-up questions, she's not listening. So she moves on to the next question, which is set up to make Zay look dumb. That doesn't happen, so Amber's left with the only option, which is to change scripts and agree.
Because it literally
doesn't
says
say your
Girl
name.
World, but everyone literally knows you mean me. Because
And
I
Foodie.
very rarely see a title or thumbnail without me mentioned.
I think that you've assumed yourself to be the queen of Gore World. I think
I
that
am.
that's your opinion. I mean, we would consider Foodie Beauty to be the queen of Gore World.
Does she make as much money as me? Does she get as many views?
Well, she
No.
also
I
got
mean-
demonetized like you did.
Okay, but when me and her were both on YouTube, her shit got 5,000 views, while my vlogs would get literally 60,000. So we can play this game all day long if you want.
I mean, that's your opinion. I'm just saying, in our opinion, we find Foodie Beauty to be the queen of Gore World. So we
Okay,
can
then just stick
absolutely
to
cover her more.
reacting to her, maybe. Yeah.
I think I came up here and said that's in fact what we were gonna do. So I don't know why you're telling it to me like it's a matter of fact. But yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Let me ask a question. So Zay, obviously Glass got, a little tap and said stop covering ALR 24/7. Do y'all feel y'all were covering ALR 24/7?
Okay. That's the exact moment Amberlynn Reid realized that she should not have started this conversation. Something she would have thought she would have learned from how this week went with the amount of time she got screamed at on panels. I watched a few episodes of Glass. I relatively enjoyed. I think it's cool. And you can tell by the way they keep asking the questions or saying hey, you should cover this or you should cover Foodie. And, oh, you should talk about the LCU. And, why don't you guys talk about some hobbies of yours? Stop just being centered around Amberlynn. And if you watch the episodes, that is kind of what happens already.
No, like I just said, go look back at our content from this past
That
week
Sugar
alone.
Honey
Tina
Iced
D
Tea
deep
super
dive.
chatted $20. Foodie is willing to travel for content. There's that.
And dick.
That is true.
No, she's willing to travel for dick, and because she's not legal in a certain country, so she has to travel so she can come back to that country. Clocked.
Oh, Amberlynn, are you really trying to call someone out for having an imaginary relationship?
Anyways.
And I'll give Foodie the points of when she heard about Glass and reacted to Glass, she said, oh wow, that's kind of funny. My life's kind of boring, but she laughed at it. So seems she's taking it pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I want you to know that Foodie Beauty is not an LCU host, so So if there was a show just dedicated to her, she would feel the exact same way as I feel.
See, that's fine. We thought we could just be like, the milkers to the queens of Bus.
Right.
We thought that we could have a fun little back and forth, but if you don't want to do that, that's all good, and we'll just move our content on to something else. We don't ever need to talk about Amber. That doesn't bother us.
I don't mind. I was just wondering. I had a few questions. That's all.
Amberlynn is so funny. No, don't talk about me. Oh, wait, you're not going to talk about me? You can talk about me. I don't care. I like to be a part of the joke.
Like I said before, we've reacted to people more than Amber. If you haven't watched the content, then you're coming from a place of literally just listening to a bunch of people yapping in your ear. It's basically what we're doing. So we started something called LCU University. Today was the first episode. So we did like Tina D, a bit of her background, her time in the LCU. And then next week, we're going to put up a poll today to figure out who we're going to be doing it on. It's either going to be Sweet Tea Billy or probably Life with Ron is going to be the third option. And then every week that we hit 50 members, we're going to be doing a new episode of LCU University to teach the people from Girl World a bit about the people in the LCU.
That's
I
a good
think that's
idea.
a great idea because
See, in real time, you move the conversation away from Amber and she checks out. She has no interest in what's getting said. She doesn't engage. She's not even listening. Amberlynn is intimidated by Zay Zooted because Zay Zooted can articulate better than Amberlynn can. The one thing I noticed about this conversation that becomes more and more apparent as it goes on, as you watch Amberlynn, she comes in hot, she has her point, she's standing on business, but as Zay Zooted isn't making herself look like a fool and she's answering every question Amber asks honestly, it makes sense. She comes off likable. You can see in real time Amberlynn try to switch to try to make it so her and Zay Zooted could kind of seem friendly. The exact same thing she did previously that you saw in the intro with Rosie, with being like, yeah, I do like you, but I can't say that publicly because it would look so bad on me. People would be like, oh, I'm a liar, as I'm lying.
I didn't know I knew Tina was already kind of well known. And I hear about the angry grandpa, but I don't know who the fuck any of these people are. I'm from Girl World. So I think it would be a good place to kind of retain that Girl World audience and kind of bring them into some more drama. I think it's a good idea, even business-wise.
Oh yeah, the way things went with the Tina episode today, we're definitely going to be doing more. And we kind of want to structure it like we did today. Tina was a surprise guest. We had no clue she was going to pop in for the episode to give us her story. So we think that's a really good way to do it. And every time we hit the goal for whoever it is, we're going to ask them to join us for the episode if they would like to give their story from their perspective.
That would be really interesting.
So when was the Tina subject planned? When did you guys come up with that? Was that before or after I called her racist?
See, if Amberlynn would listen, she would save herself so much misery because she, in previous times when she's confronted Zay on this same show, Lolcow Bus, Zay Zooted told them that they were going to do this Lolcow University and they gave the names, which was way before all that shit with her and Tina happened. Which is so beyond absurd, ridiculous. I am not even going to get into it in this video because it's just so much. It's too much.
That was way before that. So
Okay,
we did the LCU University goal and then we did the poll. Originally, I was going to be the one we were doing the deep dive on. I was winning, but then it got switched over to Tina when she won the poll. So it just kind of was depending who was going to win the poll.
I actually voted in that, and I think I voted for Tina.
Oh,
yeah, I thought it was good they picked Tina for the first one. I thought she'd be an
At
interesting one.
Gwandale's Revenge super chatted $19.99. Hazy, who is in Rewind's thumbnail tonight, thoughtful face emoji, thoughtful
You're gonna have
face
to ask
emoji.
Billy. Billy's the one who makes the rewind thumbnail. I don't make the rewind thumbnail, so damn, ain't that some shit?
Hey.
What is it? I haven't even seen it.
Me either, to be real.
It's me.
Well, then tell Billy you have a problem with Billy putting you in the rewind thumbnails because I don't make the rewind thumbnails.
Oh, now Amberlynn is beefing with Billy.
It's peace day. We're not supposed to be doing this. I think y'all have had a great conversation. I think there's some understanding here, and I think, Glass is going to move in a better direction so that way everybody's happier. Would you ladies agree?
Yeah, but I want to ask another question.
Okay.
Imagine the roles were reversed, okay? And it was someone else trying to profit off of your name in particular.
And they did. I'm
Like,
sure
have
Ken
you-
can
do
back
you
me up
watch
on
The
Pit?
this.
amount of times Amberlynn has tried to have this exact conversation with different people whenever it comes to like people giving her criticism, it never works in her favor. I don't know why. It's her go-to is the sympathy thing. It just doesn't work. She only uses it against other females though. Well, no, I guess that isn't true. She's had this conversation, I guess, multiple times with people in the LCU. And the LCU, as they say all the time, it's built on hate donations, taking hate, taking criticism, being held accountable. So everyone in some level, I mean, of course, not what she's experienced, she gets the brunt of it, but everyone she talks to on these shows has experienced similar things to what she goes through. And while her having a bigger name is both a net positive and negative, she does get a protection from having a bigger name against some of the more extreme stuff.
Do you watch
Uh,
Pit?
No, personally, I'm good.
He has, like, last night's episode was Chef's Kiss. He has a lot of, I'm not very good at like expressing myself, I feel like, but the way that he expressed it, like, you're kind of like a hypocrite a little bit, and I'm like saying that like with peace. Like, I'm not trying to just like be mean to you and attack you, but I know very little of you, but from what I have heard, there were things like when you first came here, there are things that you didn't want to talk about, and like you wanted people not to talk about those things. It's like, why don't you
And they
respect
did.
other people? But do you remember how it felt?
I really don't care anymore. That's
You
the
don't
difference.
seem-
No. Let me tell you something, Amber. I learned to grow tougher skin. Why? Because they never shut up about that shit. I could tell them I don't want them to talk about it, and they did. And Ken could back me up on the fact
She went
that
through the ringer.
Test was my detractor channel in this LCU. I was in every thumbnail, every title, every episode was me for 2 hours every day. So yes, I've gone through that shit. And you know what? I toughed it up. I grinned and bare it
Thank you,
until they
Rachel.
stopped fucking talking about me because they got bored.
Do you consider yourself a girl's girl?
No,
Oh,
I've never once
girl
said I'm a
world
girl's
is not
girl.
gonna like that.
She is so dumb with the shit she says sometimes. But warning, you're about to get a severe whiplash with how quickly she pivots in her conversation.
That's fine.
But
I'm not a
they
girl's
might
girl.
stick
I
up for you.
respect other women who respect me. I don't have to respect all women. Absolutely not. There's
Okay.
absolutely women who I find vile, who I find gross, who I'm not just gonna stick up for them because they're a woman.
What
Yeah, I feel the same way, honestly.
But that's what I feel like a girl's
I
girl
relate to
falls
that.
under. That you will just defend any woman even if you don't agree with their points, and I'm not like that, sorry.
I'm actually exactly the same, and I got called out for it like the last 3 days in a row. So
No, Amber, you got called out for having selective outrage. You got called out for bringing up other people's past while trying to deflect from your own. You showed that your sympathy was selective.
that was fun. But yeah,
I
I just
also think when it comes to being a girl's girl, it also really comes into play when it's like a man against a woman. Like we're in that scenario, I'm like,
I don't care what your
men.
gender is. I don't care. Who's wrong is wrong and who's right is right. And how I see it.
She does talk like a politician, though. She says a whole lot without saying anything at all.
Well, see, all right.
but-
This is what I'll say, right? When you first came into the LCU and introduced yourself, Zay was one of the ones that went at you the hardest. So I think no matter what Zay does, if she talks about you, you're going to feel a little differently than if I went on an LCU channel and started talking about you, right? I think you'd feel a little bit differently. And then with the announcement coming out today, it seemed a little targeted, right? And it stemmed from one of Zay's biggest ops in the LCU, one of her biggest haters in the LCU, right? Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's where it stems from. So that's why I think there's a little extra layer of hostility there when it comes to how you feel about Glass.
I don't really want to talk about Yo Mama, but I guess I will just for a little bit of more context because let's be frank, he's never mattered in Girl World and he doesn't now. But he does play a history in Zay Zudit's past as his show Pit, Lolcow Pit, whatever. That show has been going after Zay Zudit's other show for months, and I guess it's been pretty brutal. So the irony that he's sticking up for Amber over this situation with Lolcow Glass is very laughable and very biased. And it does play into the favoritism allegations that get directed towards Amberlynn and how she gets special treatment.
You know what I mean? But Zay seems to be the one to say, we understand it. We're going to back off. We're going to start changing shit up. And she's doing her part So I think,
That's my thing.
Go ahead.
I don't even think we're backing off now. I think we were already working on doing other content. Like, no offense, but talking about just Amber is boring, right? Like,
Yes.
Now, that did seem like a pretty productive conversation where Amberlynn got to see another side outside of the very narrow way she thinks. So Blood Feud ended. Peace to the LCU. Now they can all live in harmony. No, because did Amberlynn immediately start backtracking on that conversation? Of course. So I made sure to watch Friday's episode of Lolcow Glass to see all the new developments that have happened since the Thursday night conversation between Zay Zooted and Amberlynn. And actress Lynn is top tier in this. So let's get into this last part.
It is funny how apparently this blood feud's supposed to be over. It's frustrating because it's like, it's so easy to just sit down, look at an episode, then make your judgments. But a lot of people just want to go off the words of other people, and that's fine with me. It's okay. We don't need to keep putting her in titles, thumbnails. But a lot of times the reasons we were doing that was because she was talking about us on an episode. And then we were responding to the clips in the midst of whatever else we were doing. So
I just have to say also, I find it so fucking funny that not 2 days ago, she's over here wishing our successes and everything.
Out. That's
No,
it.
I want
Muffin, welcome to
Glass
Cash Cow.
be successful. We're all f***ing co-hosts around here. It is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So
know, that's just like the way I feel.
let's be honest.
And then was right back to the same tune last night of like, I'm just so tired of these shows being just about me and yada yada yada. Girl.
So apparently after Lolcow Bus ended last night, Amberlynn made an appearance on Lolcow Pit to complain about how, even though in the Lolcow Bus episode she said she's always down for the memes, she is indeed not down for the memes, and she doesn't understand why people can't just leave her alone. So immediately backtracking on any progress her and Zay Zooted made in that previous conversation. Which, I mean, we all know was going to happen, but nothing improves coworker relationships than constant backstabbing. It's very clear Amberlynn's trying to get Lolcow Glass completely nuked.
tomorrow we're kind of just doing like a fun, we're basing it off of like the meme of the beanbag in a hurry. We're doing an episode of that, but we're hoping that's something you could laugh along with when you see how stupid we're gonna look on scooters tomorrow as beanbags. Like, that's not shit that, like, if that's like taken as we're attacking you, then I don't know. Like, we're gonna be taking memes from Girl World and we're gonna be making like goals and shit related to that, but it's not just gonna be you. We'll be doing, we kind of combined it with the scooter thing with the foodies, so you know. Yeah,
as long as it's like not crossing a line, like I'm okay, because the beanbag in a hurry thing has always been a funny meme.
Meek and hers with the $5 said after that she went on Pit and said she wasn't okay with you guys doing the beanbag in a hurry.
Listen, she said that she was going to do that. And, I have to act like, oh, it's, it's fine. Like, I support it. But deep down, it's like, why?
And no, she doesn't have to play this bullshit where she acts like she's okay and supports it. It's just pretty funny. You'll do that shit when I'm up there to your face. You'll try to like kiki and act like we're friends, whatever which I never claim to like her. I don't with her. I don't act all friendly when I go up there. Because I know she's going to turn around and can say some stupid shit the second I leave.
And Amber wonders why she could never make any friends. I don't know how this Lolcow Glass stuff is gonna go, but I hope they don't end the show, because it actually is very entertaining. And I can see why it frustrates Amber. It once again proves the theory that she is more interesting through reaction channels than she is on her own. She wanted a frenemies type show, but she's not gonna get that because Amberlynn doesn't know how to be a team player, especially with other women. I think Amberlynn might be the Thanos of the LCU. She's definitely rocking the boat, and I think everything's going to come to a head of however the fat camp situation plays out, which will be in another month or so from now. But I have a feeling we're at the beginning of some end. I have a feeling there's probably going to be a second part to this, so I wanted to get it up before Friday night's episode. So I'll probably be back with an update. Until next time, I'm Rin, and this has been the Ghoul Logs. I'll see you on the next upload.